Hello, everybody. This is RelationshipISH. What episode we on?
Girl, I think it's 7.
The 7? Oh, wow.
I think I'm losing track already.
Oh, my goodness. So welcome to episode 7. We're going to talk about marriage with Chanel and Donald. And Chanel is actually one of my close line sisters and really good friends' older sister. So I'm really excited to hear about their marriage journey and how everything came in fruition, and now they're beautiful family. And thank you so much for joining us, Donald, as well. This is going to be an amazing conversation. I can already feel it. So I know I kind of already introduced you all, but can you go ahead and introduce yourselves for the people?
So my name is Chanel, and I am 30 years old. I am a wife and mother, and I actually have a new company I'm starting called the 4th Trimester that actually helps moms guide them through the first year of their baby's life. So definitely check me out on Instagram, the 4th Trimester, so you can get all the tips. So when y'all have y'all kids, come up with this way, baby.
Okay, shout out to that plug. I love to see it. Yes.
My name is Donald, and I'm an actor. I'm 40. Not just an actor, just call it entertainer, because I'm delving off into the other parts of it. That's about it.
Sure.
That's amazing. Yes, that is so amazing. I love both.
Check out my film Chameleon. It's on all platforms also. It's like the Animal Chameleon. You look it up, you'll see my name in there too. So just check it out.
Okay.
Yes, we love to see it. We love to see families thriving together, husband and wife making it away. Yes.
Now let's get into your guys' love story.
Yes.
So when did you guys meet and get to where you're at now?
Yeah, we want to know all the little cute details for the people.
Okay, so we met in African American psychology class back in January of 2012. And it was just random. After taking a test, we were outside sitting, and we just started talking. I can't even remember what we were talking about, but the one thing I can remember was like, dang, he seems so familiar to me. I felt like he was from somebody from Chicago, because that's where I'm from.
Right. Hey, shout out Chicago. That's my hometown too.
I realized it had nothing to do with Chicago. It was just that I found out that he was my soulmate, actually, and that's why we were
I love that.
with each other. It just took some time for me to realize that. You can take it on from there.
Well, how we actually met.
There's always two sides to one story, huh?
You take an exam, saying out there. I mean, you speak to people if you're around them, That's how I was raised, But I said, "What you think about the test?" That was pretty much it. Okay. How was it? And like she said, I did feel an instant ease. I'm not gonna say connection because we don't know that yet at the time. But there was a familiarity there. And then a couple of days later, she hit me on the education. What does they call it?
Like a blackboard.
Yeah. Like blackboard. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not the DMs, but the U-Learn messages.
That's what sparked, kind of like we started, talking, just have a conversation and hanging out together.
Yeah, meeting up.
Yeah, and then
on campus, and then we met up and had like I guess you could say first date, but it really, I mean, we didn't make it.
It wasn't like a production. The first date wasn't like a whole production setup.
No. It
was just, what are you doing? Because the point of dating is to actually get to know the person.
Right.
So I think, without all the other things, because let's just say a woman goes out on a date. Usually the first thing their friends ask, hey, how did it go? What did y'all do? A lot of times the only thing they will talk about is maybe what they did for the day. Hey, we went here, we went there, had this, that, versus what do you actually talk about, And so without, everything else, it just, from that point on, everything was easy, like, hey, we can just kick it and, we don't take too much, we can just talk and be familiar with each other.
Yeah, that's so nice. What school did you all go to?
We went to Georgia State University in Atlanta.
Okay, yes.
Because I knew when I was going to college, I was going to get a degree and find my husband.
Oh, you already knew. You came with a plan. Look at you manifesting that. I see you.
I just didn't know it was going to be my last semester, almost my last year of school.
Hey, it still happened. It happened. Right.
But after that, it was to the point where we would be with each other like every day. I had a crazy roommate, so I ended up like low key in with him after 3 months of me. Was it 3 months?
Okay.
Yeah, I left a toothbrush, then I left some shoes. Before you know it, you knew
Flying our way in.
refugee, because I had just left stuff over there. And I ended up staying with him because my roommate the situation got too crazy. So, it was really quick. And at this point, he had never even lived with a woman. But for me being him, it was never like we got on each other's nerves.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
it was a very comfortable thing. It wasn't like, it went natural. We never forced anything on each other. We just really went to the beat of our own drum. And that's one thing we really want people to understand is whatever you do between you and your partner is between you and your partner. And it doesn't have to be what status quo says, what society says, what your mama, your daddy, your grandma. It don't matter. Comfortable between you and your man, that's all that matters. And
hey, yes, that's a word right there, Chanel. I think a lot of people, when they hear about relationships, they think it's like a recipe, some type of formula that you have to follow, or like some way you have to do it. There's no right way to do it. It's whatever the connection is.
Works for you.
So I love to hear that you all did that, and people need to know that every relationship is not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
It's very unique in its own way.
No, we're far from cookie cutter.
So that's great. That's great.
We're far from cookie cutter. How we did things, just totally just far from it. So I guess I'm like trying to think what else we can
like any specific
in regards to like our love life you're curious about.
Like what led up to marriage? When did you guys decide that it was time for you to tie the knot?
Yeah, like after dating, and it seemed like dating went well. So like, how did you know like, oh, this the one, or we're ready?
Look at him smiling.
That's so sweet.
Let me see. I'm trying to ask. Okay, I spent basically my 20s in the military, and my mindset then was like, I don't want to get married. You know, I was just going to do this. I didn't know if I was going to do that forever, you know, retire out of the military or whatever. So I didn't really have any plans on getting married. You know, I didn't have intentions of it. But with Chanel, I can say for dating, a lot of times you can find a reason not to date that person. You kind of look for reasons not to. It sounds like, you know, it's kind of backwards, but you know. But with Chanel, I mean, it got to a point where like, one, she already said she didn't want to waste time dating. She was looking for like a husband or something. She was looking for
a family man, a husband,
something to build with.
Kids, like
which at the same
that's what I was doing.
Yeah, and at the same time, I was looking for it because I'm like, hell, me too. I'm like, I don't want to waste time either, you know. So we got that out of the way, you know. Now, you know, what are your plans? 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years now? What do you see yourself? What is your ultimate goal? And we can have these conversations now, you know. But it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't have no reason to. And then it's like, why delay? Why not pull the trigger? Or like, you know, of course the person can reject you, you know.
So how many months was that?
What, about 6?
Yeah.
It was about 6. Yeah, so it was just, it went from there.
So but he didn't propose until January. So then that following year in March he proposed.
Oh wow!
I didn't propose when I wanted to because things you gotta overcome. She was tripping because she was like,
"Why was I tripping?
I don't know.
Why was I
I
tripping?
really don't know." It was like,
She said, "Why was I tripping? Why was you tripping, Donald?"
Let's reel it back in a little because, okay, number one, I'm 30, he's 40. We're 10 years apart. I never dated a man that much older than me. And on top of that, he had a kid already. So I didn't know really, well, neither of us, I mean, it was like uncharted territory for us trying to figure out how to handle it.
Just like she had that unease about dating somebody with a kid, I mean, I still have unease too because I have a kid.
Right.
You know, mentally, you know, when you prejudge about something.
So there was a lot of my insecurities coming out during that time and me not feeling necessarily good enough at times. And that's also dealing with my just childhood trauma that was coming out and me putting the pressure on him. So I did trip out at times because I'm like, I ain't trying to get played, honey. Like, you ain't about to play.
We understand.
But at the same time, I'm like, oh, he don't want it, but is he gonna leave me?
Things too, like me getting an engagement ring. Like when I was like, I'm getting an engagement ring. I'm not gonna tell about it, of course. So I don't want her to know about it. So I'm like, I'll be back. I'm like, putting money on it, and she may take it as you sneaky, you being sneaky.
Yeah.
Women, we nosy. We are nosy. Yeah. Okay.
Where's that money going?
Right. Like gets a little suspicious. Like, what you doing?
That's hard. Because he's talking about I gotta go handle some business. I'm like,
you're like, what business?
Accidentally looking for a receipt.
I'm going to meet my mom, because I want her opinion. What would be a nice ring? I just didn't, hell, I don't know. What,
respectable. We like that effort.
That would take time. I mean, all right. I said I'll be back in like 30 minutes, and now it's like an hour and a half. But anyway, I wanted to plan a certain day. I was gonna do the whole thing. I was gonna look into like, maybe go to a Hawks game. They do the whole little thing. Whatever. But with the issue again, we're complete strangers. Even at that time, you're still getting annoyed. Getting annoyed.
Right.
And so she read, what was going on as one thing, and then it got to a boiling point. She was like crying and everything. I was like, look, man, come on. And I'm gonna show you what
oh my gosh.
So that kind of shortened that, but at the same time, I did understand because I did get to know her, understand where this is coming from.
Right.
I didn't trip too much about it. I was like, I understand. That's just what it is. So this is what I'm doing, and then so it's like, oh, okay.
So we ended up proposing in the kitchen of the apartment we was in.
Okay, I was about to say, so how'd it happen?
It did happen in March. So basically a year after, he did do it in the kitchen. It was random. He acted like he went and got a washer and dryer. I'm like, what are you buying a washer and dryer for?
See, asking all them questions again.
Like a washer and dryer for what? And then he ended up having like the whole setup on the dining room table. And
which she didn't miss his too either. She missed that too.
That's so sweet.
It was cool. I mean, the ultimate goal got accomplished, so it was like,
That's beautiful. 1 year after meeting, that's beautiful. That's how you knew. You knew, like, no time to waste. Like, you are the one.
Yeah. So it was 1 year after that, and then we started trying to figure out wedding stuff. We were in between staying in Atlanta or going to California, and end up going to California while we were engaged. But the way we did things, which actually it was just our 7-year anniversary, Labor Day weekend of leaving Atlanta to come to California.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. We did it, and we just randomly picked a place off the map in California. We picked San Diego. We felt like San Diego will be a little bit cleaner, safer than LA.
Yeah.
Because we were coming homeless. We didn't have a place to live or a job. And we
said, that's what we're going to get into next. Okay.
Figure it out. But in terms of the marriage, we ended up getting married. We just had a small little ceremony, a few people there. We did it on the cliff on the beach. And
nice.
It really wasn't going to do it. It was just really simple. I can't find the book. I don't know where the book is.
That sounds beautiful, right?
Yeah, but it was just, I went to the outlets, BCBG, got a cute little short white dress. And we really did it simple because at that time we did not have the funds to really do anything.
Right.
We didn't want to get in debt over just entertaining some people.
Exactly.
I understand.
No.
About love. So
that's definitely understandable.
So we got married. So from March, and then we got married May 10th, 2014, which 5/10, his birthday is October 5th, and mine is June 10th. So we took the day.
Oh.
10/5 is his birthday, so I said, let's do 5/10.
Oh.
May, so I felt like because they stayed together, they were married for 50 years. My grandpa died, so it was a good time to get married. So 5/10 is our anniversary.
That is so beautiful, Chanel. Oh my gosh. So with all of that, I know that you all created your last name. So can you tell me what sparked that, decision, and how y'all came to that, and what inspired you all to want to take that route?
Well, you can explain where it came, but I could talk about like
even with everything as far as coming out here and everything is about just building, just sometimes you just gotta start anew, you know what I mean? And I personally felt that when I was in the military. You know, you basically start from scratch. You're treated like nothing. You're the lowest level. You're just a part of the team. You just do what you're told. Bang, bang, bang. But they do that, but they're building something. You know, they want to build. The government wants to build a soldier. You know, whatever your job may be. And I just thought you can apply that to your occupation, whatever you want to do in life, or even your marriage, which was part of coming out here because we are together. I did want to build with her, so we building crumb by crumb, you know. And I just think the foundations are stronger with that. And with the name, it was the same mindset. My name used to be Johnson,
and mine was Smith.
Hers was Smith. I don't know about anybody else, but growing up, you know, I grew up in the South. I was born in Germany, and I did live there for a number of years. But there's a deep connection with the Deep South and slavery. Everybody knows that. You know, up and down the coast, in the Midwest also they had slaves. But the last name Johnson, it never said, once you get to a level of understanding about a Black American history and just American history, period, it just got to the point of like, you know what, no matter what I do, and this is just me, this is my opinion, and this is our opinion, you know, as far as the name change. You know, no matter what I do, this name Johnson lives on. I'm dead and gone. How can our future generations track down to us, and what does the name mean? So with Prabhata, P-T-A-H is, you know, it means king. You know, that's Kemetic.
Love that.
Yeah, that's Kemetic, and Ba's like soul, and what was the other one? Ra. You know, the sun god. You know, the sun is the center of the universe. Me and her is the center of the universe. You know what I mean?
I love that.
And we separate the P from the TAH because God is the beginning. And
it's the beginning and end. So
I love that.
I love it. Meaning behind that. I love that.
Yeah, so that's the meaning behind it. And even if, let's say, our grandkids or great grandkids get to a point, they can always look to the name. You know, you need a foundation. Sometimes you get rocked. That's life. You know what I mean? No matter the circumstance, you can always go back to your name and understand what you're made of, what's coursing in your DNA, you know? So that was the thinking of it. And phonetically, Chanel came up with Prabhata.
Yeah, I have literally the same sheet of paper I used. I literally was looking up like ancient Kemetic words and just putting them together in different ways, and then we end up picking Prabhata out of all of the options I had. I still have that paper.
Cool.
That is so beautiful. You all did that.
It's interesting you talk about that because, like, my granddad was in the military as well. He's from the South. He's from Augusta, Georgia. And he did the same thing when he got remarried. He changed his last name, but like my family never knew because he passed away. So I'm just kind of curious now as to maybe he had the same mindset as you because he was in the military for like 20 plus years. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. But you know, I'll never know. But
you know, with that,
that's really cool.
Yeah, you being treated, like you're nothing. Because the military does. They tell you you're just a number to us. You're nothing. You know. Wake up every morning, you running. It's like songs about dying or killing or something. You know, that kind of mindset, but it just reminds you how insignificant you are. But you can attain so much, and you can accomplish damn near anything you want.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's nothing to build. Like, you know, that's why I tell her, hey, you got an idea to start something, start. Do it. I'm sorry, I went off base.
Let's say, so what are some of the challenges that you guys face in marriage?
Like, I know you mentioned that you all were homeless at one point. So what were some of the challenges that you all overcame, or some surprises you found out what comes with marriage that most people don't know going in?
Yeah, being as one.
Right.
Well, definitely the first thing with us, our first year of marriage, we were homeless for how many months? Like 8 months, 9 months. We were homeless the majority of our first year of marriage.
Wow.
And it was not necessarily by choice. We didn't know it was going to take that long, but we wanted to move from San Diego to LA. So we tried to get like another apartment and stuff, but we didn't want to have to break a lease. And, you know, we wanted to really save our money. So we ended up being homeless. And the one thing I would say in that regard was like realizing your relationship is not based on finances. That's not why we came together. And not finances come in between. Because I remember my grandma would say, like, you know, the number one reason why people get divorced is because of money. And we we really had to hang on to each other. And like, we can, this is not gonna last forever. Like, God didn't bring us this far just to leave us here.
Right.
And it was challenging. It was times where it was like, I felt like I was at the lowest point in my life between just living out the car. We had he called it my walk-in closet, a storage where we would have all my clothes hanging up on racks. So every day we'd go in, pick something out, put the other stuff in the dirty clothes. I worked at the company in the 24-hour fitness, a gym out here. So that's how we have the free membership. So we would go every day, work out, shower, and then we would eat out every day, twice a day. So like how some people say, oh, you can't.
I mean, we didn't eat out like, it was like Sonics and stuff like that.
But we still, Domino's, pizza. I mean, we was, and I'll be craving like stuff like, I wanted ice cream. I couldn't get it really because it's going to melt in the car. But just really just that core of us hanging on to each other, because our family didn't know. We really didn't tell anybody. We just got a P.O. box if they wanted to send something, and we kind of just kept to ourselves during that time.
Yeah.
And that was definitely tough. Just our first year of marriage, like that's supposed to be the honeymoon phase, and we're literally like homeless trying to just keep it together.
But I still tell her the best gift she ever gave me was these insoles. I had running shoes, and I had to super glue them together.
They were falling apart.
Oh, wow.
Well, for my birthday, but that's probably the most, the gift I appreciated the most, But and during that time, we did, all that mattered was me and her. We depended on each other. Yeah. Emotionally, mentally, I mean, you can't look at the bright things. I mean, you could park at the beach and go to sleep. I mean, that's relaxing, listening to the waves while you sleep,
Right, it's about a beach, yeah.
Spin it into a positive.
Right.
I mean, the point out here, it's coming out here, it's like there's really no perfect time to do anything.
Right.
We could have, hey, let's try to get a job first, blah, blah. But you're trying to juggle what's going on here and doing, let's just jump in the lake. Hey, see if we're going to drown or we're going to swim.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't easy at all, because there'll be times like, man, I used to tell her, like, man, just go home with your folks for a while, but she wanted to stay with, and,
Yeah, and I end up having to go back home, though, for a while because my grandpa, who basically raised me, ended up passing away from leukemia. So then I was in Chicago, and he was still in San Diego coming up to LA, because at that time he started doing auditions, because our goal was to move up to LA. So we ended up being separated still the first year of marriage. I'm in Chicago trying to my grandma, because she was spoiled by my grandpa, so she didn't know how to just pump gas or anything. So I had to like really reel her in, and so I had to leave him behind. So there again, we're separated, and this is our first year of marriage, so we really had to just lean on each other during those times, just calling, checking up each other, things like that. And so I ended up coming back to California right before our first anniversary, and we still were homeless. We had this room in a hotel. We went to Roof Chris, went back to the hotel. Like, okay,
y'all still made it special.
Yeah, we still was homeless, but we made it work. And, he ended up winning $15,000 on like a betting app online, and that like definitely just catapulted us, and we were able to move up here. And
wow.
Else.
Look at God. It works well.
My grandpa from the other side helping us, because he could see what was going on, at that. So I really felt like he helped to push us through to get us up here. I'll say something, I guess, a different challenge after that is like, when you're in a relationship, that person mirrors to you what you need to work on.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
Yes. Not pretty. Because the way they come off at you, you be like, hold up.
Yeah. They got that Chicago jumping out.
But no, seriously, we're at a, now we cool as a fan, like we're gonna be poor, baby. Woo! It never got too crazy, but it was like the way he would say stuff to me, and I'm like, hold on, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But as we started to unpack these things, because each of us had luggage we were dragging along, but as we helped each other unpack that luggage, we started to realize, okay, I'm acting crazy because you like some Instagram booty chick stuff back then. And I'm like, I was homeless with you. Nobody could never come in between that. Like, that was my insecurities from my childhood, not feeling good enough. Then on the flip side of him, he telling me I'm nagging him. I'm like, I'm just telling you my feelings, but that's because his mama nagged him,
See, it goes all the way back.
But I'm trying to give real examples of things so that people understand. Sometimes you need to just listen to what your partner is saying and really look behind the words and see what they're trying to convey to you. Because we did the love language test, and our love language was literally the opposite.
See,
Man,
they were literally flipped reverse, and I'm like, okay, so at least we understand where we're coming from. And so the way you want love is not going to be necessarily the way they want to, but you can learn to love the person how they want to be loved.
Yes.
It takes time, and I think people don't realize, as you grow in your relationship, you change. When I met him, I was 21. I'm 30 now. Like, we're different.
You gotta evolve.
Yeah, we evolve. We're changed. So with that, you have to too be comfortable with your partner changing and things as well. So, you think of a challenge?
I mean, yeah, you said it all right there. I mean,
I say hearing your story, like, man, it shows like how strong love can be.
It really
because a lot of people would have caved.
No, for real. Like, this is not built for the weak. And I feel like people with marriage, they just think like, oh, when they think of marriage, they think of the wedding and that's it. No. That's just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you all shared your story about that, because people need to hear that, like, love is not conditional. It should be unconditional.
Right.
Like, I love you through thick and thin. And I think a lot of people love people surface level. That's how you really know you love somebody. You all went through the trenches with each other, literally. And you're still here.
Right.
Got a beautiful family and everything. Like, that's amazing. People need to know that. Like, love is still alive, and Black love is still alive too.
Yes. Oh yeah, Black love. Yeah, we definitely, want to be a good example to other people. Like, you can do it. It just takes time.
And just be. There's freedom in truth. You know what I mean? There's freedom in truth. So just be honest with each other. And
honesty.
Don't have hard. Don't take things so hard too. If somebody says something, sometimes you have to remove your feelings. You do have to remove your feelings. So her, hey, I didn't do that to you. The same thing with her. You didn't do. I can't act a certain way to you because you haven't done anything to me that warranted that response. But, yeah.
Now, what are some keys to a successful marriage?
So I would say, stop and listen to what your partner is saying before, and don't get defensive. Let your guard down. And being vulnerable is not easy.
I gotta work on it myself.
Yeah.
I'm always on defense all the
time.
So
you said that.
I was like, woo! I was like, dang, that's me.
Yeah, it's very true. Stop and listen to what your partner is trying to convey to you, and let your guard down. Be vulnerable, because that's where you're really going to tap into that true love of each other and be able to express each other without reservation. And I would say,
give each other room to grow and to change. And you got to give each other space. You definitely have to give each other space, because you are two different individuals.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get caught up being what the other person wants to be, or vice versa. Hell, some people want somebody they can just control.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah,
I got controlling ways about myself. I'm working on.
Just say it takes time. Like learning about yourself.
Yeah,
man, there's some things for myself.
Right.
Listening to y'all talk about.
I'm like, the whole mirror. When you said relationship is like a mirror, I was like, whoa, that really struck a nerve. I'm like, that is so true.
And a book that helped me was called Mirror Work by Louise L. Hay. Really helped me, because we had like a rough year in 2018. And that book really helped me to look at myself and say, okay, why are you reacting this way when he didn't do this or when he did that? And that really helped me to really let go of the things from my childhood, because people don't realize what your childhood is as an adult. And if you don't heal those things all that trauma from your childhood, it's going to come over into your adult life, and it's going to be looking like
yes.
You have to heal those things. You have to parent your inner child, because one thing with him, I wanted him to be my daddy, because my daddy went there, so I tried to put him at the parental level, like, you want to be like this, and then no, my spouse, that's totally different.
Exactly.
So like, people have to become aware of these things. And then I would say, when kids come into the picture, you definitely need to be conscious. You need to be on the same page. One parent can't be saying it one this way and the other way.
Yeah.
That's just point blank. You have to be on the same page how you want your kids to be.
Yeah.
I mean, and that goes on several levels. What type of food you want them to eat, how you want them to dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really need to be discussing things, and you shouldn't be discussing it once the baby's already here.
People don't
Exactly.
They don't.
They really don't.
And see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You got to be able to you have to be conscious yourself as parents so that you can recognize the gifts in your children and be able to curtail them towards that way. And each child is going to be different. So people think, oh, each kid the same. There's no such thing, because each child going to be different. One may be quiet, one may be more outspoken. You're not going to be the same way, you know. So you have to really, as a couple, be conscious, be aware of yourselves, what you're doing, so that you have them kids. Totally, you know, it'll be totally different. You know, it'll be easy, smooth, because kids can make it. You know, if you're not on the same page, that can even make a big issue as well.
And we had these conversations as far as kids too. You know, do you want to have kids? How would you, how would you raise them? Religion, even talking about religion.
No, those are big things. Yeah.
About religion. You know, it's been wars fought over religion.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You know, and dealing with, hey, how do you feel about sex education in schools? You gotta talk about, how do you talk about sex with your kids? You have to know these things. What are you comfortable with? What are you not uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And let's say me coming in with a kid, that's a whole nother person being involved, the mother of my child. So even that, you have to integrate that person into it just peripherally, because the only thing concerning them is the kid, but the kid is in your bubble. You know, so everybody definitely has to be on the same page with that.
Oh, that is so imperative.
And I could say we spent, that was a lot of our rockiness come from that. And like I said,
I was going to ask that about the blended family. I know. So like, how did, you all work through that? Because sometimes that can be like a blessing and a curse, if you will.
A challenge.
Yeah. And again, like I told her, I'm not going to say it was all the other person's fault, but let's say I was irresponsible with my freedom. You know, maybe I should have known certain things. Hey, freedom comes with responsibility, no matter what arena it's in. You know, even just how you integrate that kid, then that kid's going back like to that other environment. It may not agree with your environment. You know, then as we're having kids, that kid back and forth in these different environments can affect how these are coming up. You know,
very much true.
Have conversations. This is real life. You know.
And and for me, I really had to put my big grandma panties on and be an adult, because again, I'm like, I have to talk to this person he has sexual relations with. It's like, as women, okay, we get jealous. Like, I'm
very much true.
Put this aside. Why are you looking at me like that?
I mean, like I told you.
From the woman's
I was like,
perspective.
there was nothing to be jealous about, because it's like,
I didn't say I was jealous. I'm just saying that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable for me too.
You really have to be, I really had to put my feelings aside, because it's about the kid. And I had always been positive about a blended family. A good book is called Blend by Swiss Beats ex-wife. No, not Alicia Keys. Her name is, I forgot her name. I can't remember, but that was a good book I read that showed an example of having a blended family. Also, Will Smith, Jada, talking about the entanglement, but like I said,
the entanglements.
His previous kid, but the main thing is that everybody has to be on the same page. When everybody's not on the same page, then it's just up in the air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're kind of running out of a little bit of time, but I'm gonna, try to wrap this up. I really love what you all said about, the blended family and everything. Like, one of the quotes that Jada Pinkett Smith said that I really liked about blended families is, "It's not my stepkid, that's my bonus child." So I really like that that language of calling it that, instead of like, no, it's not like a burden to me. Like, this is an extra bonus, an extra blessing. And thank you all so much for sharing your story. You all have had such a unique love story, and we love to see it, especially Black love. And you all are here for the long run. We need more examples of that, especially in this millennial generation. So before we wrap this up, how can we find you on social media so we can follow you?
So I'm Chanel Zip. That's my personal page, and then my business page is the 4th trimester. And your name?
Okay.
So the Renaissance man.
Hey.
But it has X's. But you could just come on my page, and then you'll find it.
Find him.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Chanel
guys.
and Donald. This has been great. This has been another episode of Relationship-ish.